what the halftime show has been is like, it's about broad. Do Uncle Bill and Aunt Stacy in Minnesota know what's happening? If they do, then it goes on the screen. And like, say what you want about Beyonce with the country album, whatever. She's a mass crossover star. So like, when she did the halftime show, made sense. Katy Perry, made sense. When the Who did it, they've been out 100 years, made sense. Like, the Kendrick Lamar thing felt like, first of all, the Not Like Us thing feels over. Like, that was almost a year ago, and like, the A minor chain was kind of funny. Like, it was kind of funny. I didn't think that line got as big of a reaction as I thought. We were all sitting there during that entire halftime show waiting for that line, and then it comes and it's like, yeah, all right. Uncle Bill, Aunt Stacy. So sure enough, a 40-something-year-old woman who I happen to know, middle America, who like loved the Dr. Dre. Now that's more her era and all of that, but like, this woman will literally shake her ass to anything. I have told you before, she takes the dance floor wherever she goes. She literally said to me, turn this TV off, part of that Kendrick song. She's like, literally, turn this TV off. It's like, yeah, I was like, this isn't the right venue for this. Like, all that did last night was show all of America that Kendrick Lamar is under 5 feet tall. that's all that did last night. Now, again, I am aging. It is part of that, and you're right, it's not necessarily targeted directly for me. I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, I'm a hip-hop fan, but okay. I knew all the songs. I'm willing to bet most people watching their TV last night, I said this last week, I was like, people said, swimming pools was pretty big. It's like, yeah, none of them really, like, I felt like they crossed over like that to me. I could be wrong. And again, as I know how some of this works, did I just lose this sound wall? I literally I had it all. I was literally playing you Kendrick Lamar a couple of minutes ago. Did this reset on me? In the middle of doing this live, that happened to me. Oh, here it is. Sorry, that one was me. So many people are hearing this for the first time right now. He's amazing. He's really good. But that's why he's not a Super Bowl halftime show. Because he's actually really good. And like, that's kind of what we have come to expect from it now. Is like, dude, get the overrated, inflated, that whole thing kind of going. Get that up there, right? And like, that fell flat for me. And if everybody said, a buddy of mine texted me last night, he's like, Drake's not coming back from this. And I thought to myself, oh my God, if I'm Drake, I'm licking my chops. First of all, the numbers are already out. I won. I won. He performed a huge show the other night, as big as the Super Bowl maybe, as far as people in attendance. That was massive. That thing, the videos of that have not stopped circulating online, and everybody's saying, dude, the only place people hate Drake is online, and it's true. It's true. And honestly, if I'm Drake, I'm on the phone with Jay-Z going, okay, dude, because that's the guy who kind of decides who you get now at the Super Bowl halftime show. So that's why I'm calling Jay-Z. And I'm telling him, like, okay, dude. So, like, you dug your heels in last night, and you tried to keep it 100. And how'd that work out? You want women screaming, throwing bras and panties around? Get your boy up there, baby. Get your boy up there, and we'll get it done right. And that's exactly what is going to happen. It's like, I watched that last time. I was like, man, I was so right. Dude, get Drake. I was like, they're having this big beef, and Drake, honestly, is 5 times the star that Kendrick is. I'm not talking about who's the better artist. That's a different thing. Drake's 5 times the star Kendrick is. The 5 times the star Kendrick will ever be. That's literally what the whole song's about. Trump in the building last night. Now, depending on who you like, you're hearing conflicting things. Some right-wing influencers like, oh my God, roaring, cheers. And then you see like the AYCNs of the world and the Alex the influencers of the world are like, oh my God, New Orleans hates them. New Orleans understood the assignment. New Orleans understood the assignment. And so they're all telling you got booed. I'm sure there's videos of both. The video I saw last night on the TV. I saw. Now, there is a pretty viral photo already this morning of 2 guys turning. Yeah, I knew I was going to get that too. You can't be the president of this country, be at a public event like that, and not find people who hate you and people who love you. More often than not, sports crowds seem to cheer for him and seem to like him. Now, a lot of that was going on, though, when he was not president. I've said this before, dude, when you're president, you're to blame for everything. Whether it's your fault or not, you were dumb enough to run. You get blamed for everything. And so some of that cheering you may see change now that you're actually back sitting in the Oval Office as the president now. That may change some of those cheers that he has heard. But mostly that's what I saw. I saw some players making sure they went out of their way to shake his hand, and I think a lot of that is going to be overblown by some places today. I think a lot of that is just, I'm playing in the Super Bowl, this is the president, it's a moment, I'm going to take this opportunity to shake. Not necessarily agreeing with him or thinking that he's awesome, or now secretly we always knew about Chris Jones, and like I just like so much of that stuff is just that, you know, kind of gets overblown. But we'll get into his madness today too, and all of that. Also, Taylor Swift in the building last night, she got booed. She literally, there's video of her, she's literally looking around going, what's going on? And it's like, you're the biggest star on the planet. And people have hit the saturation level. And honestly, a lot of football fans look at Travis Kelce now and go, what'd you do to this dude? Because he used to keep a low, tight fade, and now all of a sudden he looks like Ryan Gosling. And like, dudes are like, what did you do to this tight end? That's why. I mean, he showed up yesterday wearing a brooch. on his little lady colored sport jacket. Like, good Lord. That's why people are booing you, Taylor, because you took a man and turned him into a woman. That's why they're booing you. That's what's going on right there. That's what it is. By the way, that's another thing that makes the Kendrick thing so crazy, right? Because you're sitting there and you're like, guys, the big on the planet is in the goddamn building. Hand her a microphone and get from last night. I don't really. Now, does that say something about the state of advertising? The state of advertising overall? The commercials themselves? You and I? What does that say? Somebody at my house last night had a profound statement about it. And we'll get into that throughout the program this afternoon. Sorry, morning as well. Myles Garrett decided to go on ESPN yesterday and say, yeah, in case anybody hasn't heard, Cleveland absolutely sucks. Get me the hell out of there. And fans turning on him. We'll take a look at that throughout the program today on Rock 106.9.
The Stansberry Show.
Nerd stuff probably excites you because you're a nerd.
On Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the program, where we have to thank Justin for correcting me already this morning. He's like, yo, man, that photo of people flipping off Trump yesterday, dude, it's actually from a college football game. People were just recirculating. We were talking a little bit about the reaction to him in the building last night. Thanks for that. I saw it first thing this morning, and I was like, all right, have that in your back pocket. I know I wanted to get into the reaction to him a little bit in the 8 o'clock hour. So I was like, all right, I didn't see that, but, you know, maybe take a look at it, flesh that out before we get there. And I had referenced it. So thanks, I didn't know that. That's one of those things I saw in the bed this morning. It was like, oh, must have missed that on the, you know what I mean? It was kind of one of those. So thanks for that. We'll get into that later. You know, I have another thought on Kendrick, too, and we got to do it. Jesus, all day. Which, by the way, you know, this is, I was talking to some people last night, and they were asking me about putting the show together and like having a moment like this. What's it like? It's like, well, yeah, it's like manna from heaven for sure. It's a collective experience. Most people probably watched it and have an opinion on it. And even those who don't kind of know, it's like, all right, the Monday after the Super Bowl, I kind of know what everybody's going to be talking about everywhere, right? So there is that. There are people who hate sports, literally just kind of hate it. So I always try to have a few things kind of laying around just in case it's like, let's give some people, you know, a place to duck away from. And I do have, and we have this slated for some downsides. One of the young, hot male porn stars says the life sucks. It absolutely sucks. So the Chiefs lose last night. It wasn't even as close as the end score ended up being, 40-22. You watch it. This is what people will tell you all the time. You can't box score watch. Meaning, you can't wake up, check out the results in the paper the next day or online. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, and have a full understanding of everything that happened. Because this is another situation where numbers lie a little bit. Like, you can get touchdowns in garbage time. This game was, over pretty early. Pretty early. Now, it was going to be a lot later for me. I made a pretty big error with people over the house last night watching. Ordered some catering from Roosters, and it was awesome. So I went and got that. And then came back to the house and then, started setting up everything, turned the TV back on, and waited for, the guest room. And apparently it didn't pick the broadcast back up live. It picked it up kind of where I had it. And so I'm getting text messages about the halftime show. And I was like, what? I was like, are you from the future, man? And so I was like, oh, I know what happened here. And then so we started, and so we ended up skipping part of the end of the second quarter there a little bit, kind of all right, we kind of know what happened there, kind of know what happened there. And they got to the halftime show, we watched that, obviously, right? That's what everybody wanted to see. And so we watched that, and then, he was able to kind of get to the other side of it. And then by the third quarter, he kind of knew it was over. And this is always an interesting thing for me. And the sports are rigged people. Because they get real quiet on days like today. And I don't care. I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? I think you're silly. I've always thought you were silly. But they do. They get real quiet on days like today. Chiefs minus 1.5. Blown out. So there's that. Mahomes and Hurts, I believe, both went over their passing yards. I didn't like any of the bets last night when I saw them on the board. I honestly didn't like any of them. I was like, not that I was going to be right. I mean, again, I didn't like the passing yards. I was like, oof, both those seem high, and they both hit it. Over. Mahomes not by much. I think it was by 5 or whatever. Hurts played pretty good. It felt like Hurts was trying to make a point. I could throw the ball deep down the field. Bunch of haters. Watch, I'll do it right here in a Super Bowl. And he did it. It felt like he was trying to make a point there. But the sports are rigged people, they're always quiet today, on days like today. I remember, was it Seattle upended Denver, right? In that Super Bowl? I think that was a double-digit spread Vegas had. And what did that game end? 55-something or whatever? I mean, they just pummeled them. Wasn't close. They don't normally butcher the line that bad. Is the argument going to be today that what? They're on to you? And so they threw one back? That's it? I don't know. Feels pretty flimsy. Does. I think the stories... What is better for the NFL? The three-peat to greatness? Trav riding off in the sunset in his lady suit? Getting engaged? I don't know what he was wearing yesterday, but literally, bro, those glasses must have been darker while you were wearing them than they looked while they were on your face. You could not see 2 feet past you, bro. That was awful. I don't know what that was. Yikes. Jeez. Man. But we've all, you know what I mean? A lady's made us all. It's happened, right? It's happened. More than a few times. What's better, the three-peat story? Or, you never know, man. You got to watch these games because you just never know. You could sell both arguments if you wanted to. Yeah. You got to watch it because you just never know is better probably in the moment. Lore of the league, Mahomes getting 3 in a row is better for the lore of the league. But, we're sitting here in the Hall of Fame city. People really care about that kind of stuff as much as we used to. We're kind of in the moment people, right? So maybe it's that. I don't know. I'll tell you, something did not happen in that Super Bowl last night that has me more convinced maybe than ever that sports are not rigged. I could give you 1,000 guesses, and you're never going to guess what it is I think. This thing that did not happen last night that I'm like, see, if sports were rigged, that would have happened. But it didn't. I'm going to double check this as I'm talking to you about it right now to make sure I'm right about it. But when I went to bed last night, I was like, did that not happen? And then when I looked this morning, I was like, did that not happen? So we'll pull up the box score again right now to make sure I'm right about this. 25 attempts, 57 yards. He averaged 2.3. Look at that. No. Big 0 right there. If sports were rigged, guys, Saquon Barkley gets a touchdown last night, right? No TD for Saquon in a rig league. They win, dude, 40-22. It's rigged. The story of Saquon all year. Homie doesn't get one in the Super Bowl? Come on, man. You think screenwriters are that bad? Like that bad? Oh, did AI, maybe AI took over the script writing and they suck at it, man.
The Stansberry Show.
I just wish I hadn't drunk all that cough syrup.
On Rock 106.9.
Obviously, the Super Bowl, big topic of conversation this morning. And I said, yeah, the sports rigged people, man, they get a little quiet after something. Now, what a lot of them are going to try to tell me is they were onto us, man, so they swapped it out. That is so funny to me, man. Like, that is very funny. I think if sports were rigged, with the Eagles winning last night, they're not going to give Saquon a touchdown. That whole thing, leaving the Giants, goes to the Eagles. Oh my God, they have a year. Look at it, he's amazing. Still so much in the tank. Oh my God, they're now going to the Super Bowl. If it were rigged, homie gets 100 yards and a touchdown, for sure. Because that's the storybook. That's the storybook. Now you feel happy for Jalen Hurts. Because, like, a lot of that hate you got to put to bed now. There was one throw in that game, dude, where he, like, threw deep into that end zone, and you could tell. That was, we're in control here. I know we're in control here, and I'm about to show the entire damn country I can absolutely stand right here and sling it where I want. I mean, that was a shut the hell up throw in the Super Bowl. I'm happy for that kid, man. I am. I'm a little happy about it. Like, I remember I posted when he kind of got screwed. He got kind of screwed in college with Tua, right? And there was a game where he kind of comes back in, and I remember I posted, I was like, this Jalen Hurts story is why I love sports right here. Gets benched, left for dead, comes back in, plays pretty well. Like, you gotta, it's that kind of stuff about sports I kind of like. And so, like, he has that grit thing, Jalen Hurts. You know? Some of the throws in some of the games don't necessarily leap off the page every week. I won't deny that. But I was happy for that kid last night because I was like, you know what? That's a statement throw right there. He's trying to make a statement, and he just did it. And, like, good for him. Good for him. Said going into it, this was the least excited for his, because it's Patrick. Travis being a little distracted with the podcasting and the Taylor and the this and that, not so shocking. And you're a tight end. You kind of have to wait for people to involve you before you can really change the tone of anything. So you can't go crazy about that. But like him being a little distracted, a little, okay, fine, whatever. Dude, the number one thing Andy Reid gets credit for is this. Go look at his record after a bye. Meaning when Andy Reid has a week to prepare for you and he doesn't have to, like, and he has that extra week because his team's not playing, his record is something like 80, he has a win rate of something like 89% or something. It's insane. And so most people, that's why the line was what it was, because you got Patrick Mahomes and you have Andy Reid, right? And so you kind of like look at that and it's like, I lose, okay, fine. Any given Sunday, people show up. And let's be honest about the Eagles now, they got the Jimmies and the Joes. I mean, dude, there are dudes everywhere on that team. Everywhere. They got dudes. But you just didn't expect Kansas City to play so loose like that. And Pat looked, I mean, dude, some of those early throws were like, Holmes, you're lucky this didn't get a little further out of control than this. Maybe didn't take the Eagles as seriously as you should have. If I'm the Eagles, I'm a little bit mad this morning, if I'm honest. The Chiefs are still the bigger conversation. It's Patrick Mahomes' response to losing is what I see all over the place versus how great Saquon and Jalen feel to have got the monkey off their back and to win. That's crazy. Like right here. Sure enough, What's trending? Patrick Mahomes' response after the Super Bowl. Appreciate all the love and support from Chiefs Kingdom. I let you all down today. I'll always continue to work and try to learn and be better for it. Want to give thanks to God for every opportunity He has given me. We will be back. I let you all down. Well, He did early. And this is why you can't box score watch. But if you wanted to just box score watch, right? Let's say you just wanted to do that. Mahomes, 21 of 32. That part's not great. You need to make more completions. 257 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now the 2 picks are bad. That part's bad. Don't like that. I think his over on the yards was 251 and a half. And I was like, that's a lot for a Super Bowl. He gets 257. Should have bet that. I bet the only bet I made last night. Was it the only bet? Was field goal to be the first score. And of course, I got screwed on that one too. I got screwed on that one. That's fine. That's fine. I don't, to me, it's last night is indicative of these sports aren't rigged. Like, they're just not. Now, the most delusional people on the planet are these people. You're about to find out some of you are in the delusional people on the planet. But I have seen sell you all year. Look, it's rigged for these dopes. It's rigged for these dopes. It's rigged for these dopes. And then, bam, haymaker. Is that what happened last year? What about the year before? What about the year before? When did they decide? When does everybody get this straight? Training camp? Before cut day? So we tell everybody what the system is. We tell everybody what the system is. We don't even trade them. We just cut them. You're not an NFL player anymore. See ya. You know all our deep, dark, dirty secrets, and you're not around the league at all anymore. Bye. That's what happens? Like, I mean, when you really start to pull on the thread of it, it's insane. You know why? Because it is insane.
The Stansberry Show.
Would you mind speaking in a civilized language?
On Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show here on Rock 106.9. 9 a.m. this morning, Rock the Bank with you. That's not that first one. That's not a little Kendrick Lamar there, because your halftime show last night. This is tough. You and I have been having some conversations recently about how it can be tough for a man at a certain age with certain color hair to have certain opinions and not have people take the time to be like, oh no, that is coming back from break. You wouldn't believe how many people bitched about it. Does he not understand? Send his lip-tarded ass. So, who is it for? Can we be honest about this? Let's put the set, then you like, right? Like, sort of how you'd be able to look at somebody and be like, oh, thoughts to somebody. This feels a little like that, if I'm honest. The last few years, it's kind of felt like that. Sorry about that. Braden. Stansberry, this is sad. Never thought I'd see the day. It happened to you. You're the guy that doesn't get it. I don't get it as a bro. And what I mean is, like, that's a massive hop cross. All of them make sense. Katy Perry makes sense. Tom Petty makes sense. The Who makes sense. Stones made sense. MJ made sense. Kendrick does not. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It does not make sense. Again, this whole song, dude. People don't know that. But, like, that's what the messaging is. Like, yo, Holmes, you ain't really one of us. The whole song is they're not comfortable with how often Drake uses the N-word while not, like, adopting black issues and being down for causes. And, like, that's what the song is literally, I'm never going to cross over, but have me hosting the #1 crossover event the country has. It's just, that's the part that's weird. To me, it's made weirder by the fact the biggest pop star on the planet is in the building. So it's also like, geez, bro, like, just go up there and hand her the microphone and say, no, sorry, you're doing it. Like, this is, look at what we're doing here, okay? Like, we kind of need it. I love him. The A minor chain was kind of funny, right? like the minor A on the chain, I was like, oh, dude, that is troll level 100. Like, it is. Can we be honest about that part of this too, though? So everybody's just waiting around for the part in the song where he says Drake is a pedophile. You're trying to strike, literally took it right to dude's doorstep and dropped it off, man. You hear that? That's nuts. But once your mom's clapping for it while getting wings in the kitchen, it's kind of like when Shizzle went a little too wide, right? Where it's like, all right, and Shizzle's over. And, right? That part's strange to me. I keep coming back to this, and I think I'm right about it, that ironically, these two men are having this beef. And again, a lot of people are hearing about that from the first time from me right now. But these two men have this famous, like, rap beef going on. Others, right? We've had that. So we kind of got another one. When you know what? Every era. We just happen to have one of these. You know, sports is rigged, but I'm pretty sure these rap beefs are all legit. But we have this big rap beef going on. One of these dudes is like the guy from like the street. And like hip-hop's hip-hop. Kendrick Lamar. And then you have the massive crossover, makes 14-year-olds